All right, so let's break the ice and get right into it.
Okay.
All right, Tommy. I want you to think really, really far back. Dig deep for this one.
Okay.
And tell me the first song you can recall hearing ever.
I was literally a kid, and it was like a French song by this art. It's like those like French like kid shows.
Fairy tales?
Like no, like kid shows, like on like
PBS?
French channel type of thing. Yeah. And it was this, her name was Annie Brocoli.
Ooh,
and
that sounds good.
And I literally, like, it was just a song about ladybugs.
I love ladybugs though.
Yeah, like coccinelle. It was like this weird random song. But that was like probably the first thing I ever heard.
And why do you remember that particularly? Was that what was going on in that moment?
For me, I think I always knew that there was something about, like, a lot of my introduction with music was through visuals, was through movies, was through shows.
Yeah.
So I loved that show in particular, mainly because like living with my mom and everything, we were very like rooted in the French side, especially when I was like very young. So I just heard a lot of French music a lot of the time. And I think I just related to her because it was like a kid show. So I loved the visuals. I loved how animated it was and how much production, like, I mean, I wasn't thinking production, but thinking back at it, there was just so much that they put into it to keep a child's attention. And just, yeah, she was just so entertaining. I loved it.
What channel was it on? Do you remember?
Well, it's called, I don't know if it was Radio Canada, if it was something else. I think it might have even been like CDs or DVDs.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So she was buying them for you.
Oh, yeah. My mom was like, she was on it.
Got you. So
she was on it.
When your ears graduated to maybe CDs or iPods or whatever you were listening to, what were like your go-to like first albums or like CDs you ever got? I'm trying to guess your age, but not really. So.
Oh, I'm 26.
26? Okay,
yeah.
So you're a little bit younger, so you probably had something though.
No, so for me, I guess in that sense, definitely like Rihanna, Alicia Keys, Beyonce. That's what I really grew up with.
Okay,
for sure.
well,
like, so like Pon de Replay.
Yes.
You know, like everything around that nature, even Destiny's Child, like that was that time for me.
Yeah, we can pause right there and say that those three names, you said Rihanna, Beyonce, Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
I think that's all you really got to have in you as a young Black woman to be able to come up and be the artist that she is. So that makes sense as to why I heard a lot of that in the sounds and even in her visuals, in her videos. It felt a little bit like not old girl R&B, but like, Tim, is it old school R&B? It's not old school R&B.
It's not old school yet.
Please, it's not old school yet. No, it's not. It felt like the it girl R&B from back when I'm like 5 years older than you, so not too much older, but that it girl R&B. And that's what, we love to see.
Period.
All right. So bridging over into more of like your first, when you started making music yourself.
Yeah.
So you're in the house and you're having fun listening to all the It Girl albums. You're coming up through that Black music culture and whatever else is around you. Yeah. French music,
Nigerian
music.
Yeah, like Wizkid, Don Jazzy, The Bench. That was that time.
Yeah. So when did all of these influences create or inspire you to create music for yourself?
Yeah. I think my journey with my actual sound very much evolved. Like when I first started making music, I was just like, in my head, like very much doing like my own thing per se. And it was like poetry. Like it wasn't even like beats per se. Like I was just writing songs. I didn't even know what I was writing. I was just writing songs with a beat in my head. And then
wait, with a beat in your head?
Yeah.
Did you know so you're just writing songs to a rhythm that you...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I can't say like I knew exactly how I wanted the beat to sound, but I just knew that there was a rhythm. So I knew how the song rhythmically went, but I didn't really know how it would sound on a beat. But it was just like, I knew it was a song type thing. And then I was begging my parents to get me a guitar. And this was like when I was 8 years old. And then by the time I was 10, I was gifted with one.
Why a guitar out of all instruments?
Good question. I don't know why. I don't think there was like anyone or anything in particular that made me feel like, oh, I need to know guitar. It was just sort of the instrument that called me in a sense, in a weird way. Because even at the time that I got my guitar, my mom was like, you should probably learn piano first because it's easier.
Yeah.
And I tried a class and I hated it. I hated it. And I'm like, I can't do this.
You know why I asked that question because when I was begging my mom to get me my first instrument, which was a piano, electric keyboard, guess why?
It just called
Alicia Keys.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like,
wow.
I want, yeah, some braids and them keys for me. So yeah.
There's something about the guitar that I found sonically is so intricate.
Yeah.
I just loved. I loved the fact that you can move with it. I love the fact that you can
feel the vibrations in it.
Yes. And then it's also just like you can just have it on you and be able to perform anywhere. Compared to a piano, you kind of do have to like be stationary. But with a guitar, there's a bit more mobility. I think there was something about it. But I guess I never thought about it that way. It was just sort of like, yeah, I want a guitar.
Yeah.
At that time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from writing and kind of like
composing,
yeah. So then getting the guitar, you're 12, right?
I'm like 10.
10. All right, let's take it from there.
Yeah. So then the next 2 years or so, like up until I'm like 15, I'm like learning the guitar, and now I'm like making my own songs, writing my own songs. And then I put out this little EP like in 2015, like on SoundCloud.
Shout out to SoundCloud. So you were first on SoundCloud.
Let me tell you real quick, because when I was in high school, like middle school, high school, there was a time in my life where the only DSP I was on was SoundCloud, period. That was the only thing I was on. And I think a lot of us were, especially like at a certain point, like at least I know when I was in high school, almost everyone in my grade, almost everyone in my like age group were on SoundCloud. And like, it was like how we heard the hottest music to how we heard the most underground music and the things that you just like wouldn't, like there were so many people who popped off from SoundCloud. Like it was really that age at that time. Like it was amazing. So to see that was just kind of, I was in there instrumentally. At one point I wasn't even listening to music anymore. I was just listening to beats and instrumentation and like mixes and all this random stuff that you find in like the creps and corners of SoundCloud. Like you really searching deep. You're going in the rabbit holes. Yeah. I was like in it.
You were a cloud surfer. That's what I call them.
Yeah, I was a cloud surfer.
I was one myself. Okay, so then when did you start like actually like recording and going to the studio for yourself?
Once I dropped that EP, because I was just recorded off my phone.
That's what I figured, yeah.
I just recorded off my phone, one take, posted it.
Is it still up there?
Yeah, I still leave it there. I still want people to see where the journey started.
Yes, you get it.
Yeah. So I left it there. And then from there, someone just hit me up on SoundCloud and was just like, oh, you sound dope. Like we should link up. And then he was in the same city as me. Like we were both living in Brampton. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then that was the first time I was really like in a studio. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like this is dope. This is kind of neat. Yeah. Like I'd been in a studio before, but I didn't really like the experience because of the people there. So this was different because it felt more welcoming and allowed me to express myself. So that's where I started to really like find what is me. Like, what do I really like? And I realized I was very alternative and like the stuff that I like, really groovy, very lo-fi, very like chill type of music, but very alternative. Kind of like Naomi Sharon today. Like, you know, the girl that just signed with Drake?
No, I don't know.
Okay, she has an album out. It's very Sade, extremely Sade vibes, but beautiful music. I won't lie. There's a lot of songs that I liked on that album, but very Sade. And so, but at that time, that was sort of like beat-wise and everything what I liked, what she's doing now. Yeah. And so I was kind of going within that realm. But then as I continued to evolve, I was like in a little group with a guy at one point, me shout out Guapo. That's my friend for real. And we had this whole very group, like we were literally called Groove. And we had this whole groovy sound that we were making. We never released anything. And I think that's what got me so antsy. I'm like, excuse me, we gotta get it going. And then at one point I was yearning for rhythm. I was like, I feel like it's too slow for me now. Yeah. I need more.
You need to move the waist and whine a little bit with it.
Even in my own playlist, I can't just have R&B. I don't like listening to a whole R&B like all the way through. I need rhythm. I need joy. Like I need something that's fun. So I knew I was yearning for that. And that's when I started, being introduced more to the Nigerian culture in the city. Like it came later into my life, to be honest, because I was full French my whole life. I was like the only Nigerian French person.
I was getting ready to ask. I never met a Nigerian French person.
Yeah, because my mom is from Montreal. Like she's white. My dad is Nigerian.
Got you.
Yeah, so she's from Quebec. She's Montreal. Like I'm mixed.
Okay, so, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I know most people don't.
Go ahead to your daddy's side.
Right.
That's just strong.
Most people don't, like, I got a lot of my dad's side for sure. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize. They're like, your mom's right? Really? I don't see it. Oh, it's the hair. Oh, okay.
No, then I started looking at the hair like, I don't know if you peeped me behind. It's like, well, shit.
The hair is really,
I guess
it's really
so.
mixed. Yeah. No, yeah.